Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of The Marksman. This movie is directed by Robert Lorenz, who previously directed The Trouble with the Curve. This movie stars Liam Neeson, Catherine Winnick, and Juan Pablo Raba. The Marksman is about a man named Jim Hansen, who owns a ranch on the border of the United States and Mexico. And one day he comes across two illegal aliens on the run. And there he reluctantly decides to take care of one of them, who's a small boy. So now he must bring this child to safety while also looking over his shoulder for some vicious cartel. Now, if you were like me and you saw the trailer for this movie, or you saw the poster, and you saw Liam Neeson with a sniper rifle, and you went by the title called The Marksman, and you thought it was going to be an action-packed thriller like A Taken, or the latest Rambo movie, I'm going to warn you, you'll be disappointed, because it's only called that for two reasons. One, because the main character used to be in the Marine Corps, and he owns a sniper rifle that he doesn't use until the end of the movie. So as I was watching this movie, I started picking up on things. Not only were there plot elements that seemed very similar, you had conveniences that only really helped move the story along, and you had characters that were very one-note or one-dimensional. There was some fleshing out of their motivations, but not a whole lot, because they tried to keep this plot simple, yet they wanted to throw little things in there to divert it, kind of make it complex to keep you interested. You had one-note villains who were ruthless. And then you had a main character who was a grizzled, stubborn, older man who had a loved one who'd passed, so now he's a loner. He doesn't want any help, and he doesn't really open up to anybody. Meanwhile, you have a small, young person who not only learns from the main character, but also teaches them a thing or two as well. And I was like, this sounds really familiar. And then I remembered Robert Lorenz directed The Trouble with the Curve, which is a Clint Eastwood movie about baseball. He was also the second unit director on a bunch of Clint Eastwood movies. And so, The Marksman felt a lot like a watered-down version of Gran Torino. And then it hit me. I'm like, oh yeah! Essentially, The Marksman is a Clint Eastwood movie, but because Clint Eastwood is about 90 years old, they couldn't get Clint Eastwood for this film. So they decided to use Liam Neeson. And Liam Neeson works in it, but he falls into all those tropes that Clint Eastwood did in Million Dollar Baby, Unforgiven, Gran Torino, and a whole bunch of others. So, Liam Neeson is doing his best Clint Eastwood impression, essentially. Speaking of one-note villains, it always makes me chuckle, because when you realize that in a lot of movies, you have a main character being chased by these cartel members, or these mafia guys, or these really ruthless characters that would stop at nothing and wouldn't bat an eye to kill an innocent person. If the main characters have to stop at convenience stores, or gather supplies from a store, or sleep at a motel, wouldn't the people chasing them have to do that too? Wouldn't the people chasing them have to lay low and make pit stops? I mean, could you imagine a vehicle full of cartel members going through a drive-thru going, hey, I like a number 4. Hey, Vato, what do you want? Like, they have to be sociable as well. They're depicted almost as if they ride around with nothing in their vehicle except for their determination and weapons. It's like, do they not eat food? Do they not sleep? Do they not shower? Do they just not talk to each other? Because they're depicted as so antisocial. And the movie decides to do this thing with the plot and character mannerisms that are really frustrating. Because one moment, you think, okay, this man is such a loner that he doesn't have a cell phone. Okay, yeah, that could work. Because usually, characters like that just use cash when they're going shopping and stuff. Oh, no, wait, they have a credit card? Okay, alright, well, that's fine, because they don't have a phone, so they don't have a GPS, so they just use an old school atlas, a map from a convenience store. Oh wait, they drop it near the bad guys? Okay, well don't worry, because the main character is hiding in this motel with a small boy, and the bad guys aren't going to find them. Oh, wait, so while the bad guys are roughing up the motel owner, the good guy's just going to stand in the doorway watching them with light behind him? Oh, okay. It's stuff like that, where you think the main character will have it easy and will be able to get away, but then things happen because it's a movie that just make you facepalm and go, oh, I want to like this movie. I want to root for the characters, but when they do stupid things, it makes it difficult. And so because the plot is super simple, yet they try to throw in these things to make it complex, like, ooh, are they going to get away? Are they going to get away? Stuff like that. Some of it's bad. I mean, the chemistry between the two main characters is good at a point, but for the majority of the film, they don't really talk. You just have Liam Neeson being frustrated with things that are going on, or the boy, and so it's a hard watch. And so because of that, I'm going to give The Marksman a C-. I expected more from the crew involved and the actors they have, but we didn't get anything great. But hey, at least it's better than Rainbow 5, right? But not by much. So until next time, see ya.